Is there such thing as bad luck Teslas? I'm starting to feel it. If you guys have been following my Instagram stories lately and Facebook posts, you'll know that I just got back from a trip in Oregon, which is about 7 hours away from me. And right when we were leaving, we got pulled over and ran over a piece of metal. That metal then punctured the tire and also broke the taillight of my Tesla, which I've had for less than 2 weeks at this time. Day before something happened, so I kind of want to talk about that and then give you guys what my experience was as far as roadside service and what we did, because it was my first experience with the Tesla doing all that, and it was kind of a headache, but it ended up working out at the end, so let's talk about it right now. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jeramie with Jeramie Photography. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Guys, we talk a lot about photography, a lot about the Teslas lately, a lot about gear and things that work in the photography world. If I can find a way to make photography and anything go together, that's what I'm trying to do. But since I got the Tesla, it's kind of on my mind all the time, and there's a lot of things that I'm experiencing with it that I'm super happy with. So I want to kind of talk to you guys about it just so you guys kind of know what's going on. So, as my intro said, a few days ago on Friday, it is Monday, it's Labor Day, I got commissioned to shoot a wedding in Oregon of an amazing bride and groom, and the wedding went great. We made it there. Long story short, we did make it there, which was awesome. But I have my Tesla here. This is my beautiful black on black Tesla, tinted windows, 2020X, and it's amazing, and I love it. But there's some bad luck that's happening, some bad juju. So I got these new tires on that I'll show you guys right here. I got these new tires on about a week ago, and it was kind of a running joke because I got these on, and the next day after getting them on, I get into my car and Tesla sends me an alert and says that, hey, one of your tires is low. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just got it. And this tire back here was low. It was about 20 PSI instead of the 44 to 45 that I needed. Turns out I ran and hit a nail or screw in there, so I took it to Les Schwab, who installed it. They fixed it for free for me, which is amazing. Didn't have to get a new tire. They just patched the hole and it was fixed. So looks great, feels good. It's a little dirty right now because we just got back from that trip. And then here is the kicker. I thought that was kind of done. It was a running joke. Hey, I was at Les Schwab 2 days, 3 days in a row. And then we leave for this trip. So we're leaving for this trip. We're in the Tesla. We charged it, ready to go drop the kids off. And I'm driving about 20 minutes out of Reno. I'm using the adaptive or the autopilot. So I'm using the speed. I have it set to 80, which was kind of the going rate of what the traffic was. In fact, I was behind somebody and I was going 79 and then hit 80 because they got to 80. Letting the car drive, and then out of nowhere, I see the cop to the right. Didn't think much of it because everybody's going the same, but then he pulls out and starts coming after us. So pulls us over. I'm looking in the rear view. I see him pulling me over, and he's kind of on me, so he's kind of pushing really, really hard for me to pull over right there. We're on a bridge, so I just start going very slowly to the right. He's coming and pushing me over. Cool. Been pulled over before. I pull over, and it's a little sketchy, but we still pull over anyways. I then hit a piece of metal. It's like a 3-foot piece of metal into the bottom of the tire. So it hits like the bottom of the tire, and then what it does is it hits that, and then it's a long piece of metal here. So it goes, so the other part goes whoop, hits here, boom, comes back, hits all this, and does that all within like a 3-second period. We didn't think much of it. So sitting there, we got a call. We got him. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, I'm wearing a dash cam. I saw everything. I'll fill it out. You guys aren't getting a ticket, but my sergeant needs to come down and talk to you guys. We were like, what's going on? Sergeant came and talked to us, asked us a bunch of questions, took a bunch of pictures. We feel like the way that we were pulled over and the area that we were pulled over wasn't allowed to be pulled over, and the speed limit that we were pulled over at wasn't something that was a danger to the area. I'm not 100% sure what happened. We're supposed to get a report on it, but it was a weird situation that got weirder at the end. So while we were sitting there, it was about 10:33 when we got hit, or we hit that thing exactly. We ended up driving off. He gave us a police escort of 5 to 10 miles an hour to get back next to a Chevron that was down the ways, and that's where we stayed. While we were there, we used the app to call Tesla Roadside Service. Now, Tesla Roadside Service gives you a 50-mile tow from wherever you are to wherever you go. There is no spares in this, and that was actually the most frustrating thing, guys. I know we don't have spares. I know it takes the weight. I know stuff like that happens, but we don't have a spare. Also, Tesla Roadside Service doesn't patch on site, which I thought was ridiculous, guys. They have sensors in these tires, right? So you can't just change them. You can't just throw any spare on them. There's certain things that need to happen with a Tesla tire and a Tesla wheel. So they came, or we called them. Everything's via text, so you're actually going to talk to anybody, which is good and bad at the same time because you're trying to relay things. So I went on and said flat tire, side of highway, and then they write me back and say call 911 because you're on the side of the highway. We can't do anything about it. And then I text back hoping that it was an actual person. We are with Highway 911 right now. They said to send a tow truck. Since this is included in the service, we're waiting for it. We got a quote for 3 hours later, guys. 3 hours later. Now, whether you're busy or not doing anything or whatever, out in the heat, 3 hours later is not what you want to hear. So we then start frantically panicking. Again, I'm heading to a wedding. It's going to be a 7-hour drive. Add your charging, 8, 9, 10 hours. And we want to get there so that we have a chance to make sure that we're ready for the wedding itself. So 3 hours later, I'm texting, them, letting them know what's going on, what's happening, trying to figure out what's going on. So we know that when they get to us, if they get to us, they're going to have to tow us to a Les Schwab or wherever. And I was going to go to Les Schwab that was closest to us, which happened to be the Les Schwab that I was at before that worked on the car. And that was going to be, once they get there, it's going to be another 30-minute drive to get your patch, get that done, and then we'd probably have to charge you because we're sitting there for 3 hours in the heat trying to get everything figured out. Now, a lot of this is first world problems, guys, but like roadside service, we weren't that far out of Reno. I'm a little disappointed in how long it took. So while we were doing that, we ended up calling AAA. We have a family member that has AAA. I don't know the rules on this, but it's a really close family member. So AAA comes. Eventually, after everything, AAA shows up about an hour and a half into us waiting. We jump on AAA, cancel Tesla. They take us, get it patched, joke with the people that are working there, and then we end up going on our way around 3:30 p.m. So originally we left at 8:45-ish when we left the house. I left Reno 10:33. We ended up leaving again at 3:33. It was a long drive, a long day, very frustrating. Of course, this is broken. I have to take care of it through my insurance. Roadside service never came. They never actually checked up on us. When we canceled it, it just said canceled. Canceled. It wasn't like, hey, hope you're okay. How did you get home? How did you figure it out? It just said canceled. And that was another little bummer to me because, you know, what I like about Tesla is I like the community. I like the service that I've got. But I'm running into, you know, and it's not their fault that roadside service was like that, but I also wasn't in a far off area. But it also means that I don't know if I can rely on them when things do happen. But the app does work. You can tell it what it needs. It will find you. It will mark your location. And it'll send people there on your behalf, which is really, really nice. Because with AAA, we had to tell them exactly where we were, give them markers, give them all this stuff to find the locations that we were at. Tesla, you're able to put it on there. And it did have an update of system. You know, if it says 3 hours, it'll say, you know, hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes from now is when you're supposed to be there. As long as you have battery and you're cool and you really don't have kids and you're fine, then we're good. It was just 2 adults waiting for the Tesla to arrive. The only other thing was, since it's COVID times, which I actually don't get because he allowed us, he was on the phone texting whoever was picking us up. Normally you have to have somebody else take you because you can't be in the same ride as the tow truck, which is crazy because we only had one car. How are we supposed to get where we need to go? The guy from Tesla said $40 a person and we'll be able to ride with him, which was going to be like an $80 trip just to do that ride, which whatever, we're paying whatever. I ended up paying the tow guy from AAA $168 total. Tire was free because it was just a patch, a hole went through. So I got very, very lucky there. But yeah, that's it. So that's my experience with it. Bad luck, Tesla. Hopefully there's nothing else happening. 1, 2, they say rule of thirds. So that's just kind of my experience with it. If you guys have used Tesla roadside service, please let me know how it works. If it's in city, I want to know too. I just want to know how it's working and how it is. But as right now, I don't feel 100% comfortable relying on them with the charge, with anything that happens because of the automated everything. Everything's text, everything's, I just want to talk to somebody. I want somebody to say, hey, we're going to come get you. We're going to make it happen. and so forth. But they do cover 50 miles. If they would have come on a certain time, I would have gotten the free tow. 50 miles is a great deal. But yeah, that's kind of it. So hopefully you guys are having a good day. Thanks so much for listening to my little rant. I'll talk to you guys next time.